Hello everybody, my name is B-rad and welcome back. Today we are here once again on F1 24 Manager. This time around though, as you can read in the title, we are officially doing the My Team Career Mode. Basically we're going to create our own team and get this team from the bottom of the grid to the top. So with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with this, I just want to say if you are enjoying the content that you're watching, I really would appreciate it if you like and subscribe to the YouTube channels. I really would appreciate it. And also, if you're, again, like I said, enjoying the content that you're watching, I really would appreciate if you hit that notification bell as well, so you don't miss an interview from me, as I do upload every day. I also have TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. I stream almost every day on Twitch. So yeah, I would appreciate if you follow me on those platforms. Also, as well, I also have the playlist for the My Team Career Mode, which is this. Also, the Road to Glory that I'm doing, and the ERS F1 server. We are going to be racing in the ERS F1 server this upcoming Wednesday. So, you can hit the playlist for the ERS F1 server to get up to date with all of the stuff that has happened up to this point. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and do the My Team Career Mode. So audio, okay, whatever. So obviously, obviously you can pause for the browsers and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's that. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully my stream doesn't do it again where it crashed mid-recording or whatever. So we're going to have 6 races, which is going to be at China, Miami, and then Austria. Then we have another sprint at Koda, Sao Paulo, and then Qatar. Rules and regulations. Regular scheme for points and aero testing. We are going to get a bonus point for fast lap. 4 engine components, 2 ERS components, 4 gearbox components, and the cost cap is going to be default, and the season prize money is going to be the same. It's going to be original. So with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and create our brand new team.
Formula One, a new season and a new dawn as a brand new team lines up on the grid. That means an even harder challenge to secure that coveted championship silverware, as the on-track action is turned right up to 11. We're ready for excitement ahead as the teams return to the drawing board in the battle to end Red Bull's dominance. They'll need to balance their aspirations for high performance with the risk of pushing too far and inviting catastrophic failures out on the track. With many drivers on the last year of their contracts, team principals will need to ensure that they're kept in the right mindset across the whole season, as well as managing sponsor demands and protecting their most valuable assets from the prying eyes of their rivals. As a new competitor enters the fray, anything is possible. This is Formula One.
All right. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to, like I said, we are going to get this career mode started. So as you can see, we have the team name, nationality, which our team is going to be from the US. We have 5 presets, and we have our pre-store, basically the My Store side of things. But I'll explain that here in a minute. The team name that we're going to be choosing here is Ford Motor Company. So yeah, take it how you will. So we have pretty much 6 origins we can start with. We have the Your Story, basically, to create the team. Pretty much create your own team the way you want to make it. Then we have 5 presets. We have Hungry Newcomer, Technical Breakthrough, which is the Braun GP career side of things. Then we have Phoenix Rising. Then we have Industry Giant. And then last but not least, we have the Automotive Legacy. So again, like I said, we're going to do the Your Story. We're going to basically do a Road to Glory career mode. So we have the car development facilities. We're going to make sure our facilities stay the way they are right now. So everything's level 1, but the design center, which is at level 2. Staff facilities, we can't really change anything here. However, we have the operation facilities, which we will edit. So we're going to have the boardroom taking place in the shed, basically. Because the boardroom doesn't really need any fancy rooms or anything. The thing that we will do, though, is add some hospitality slots in there. Because marketing ability. So there's that. Now, with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and go to the team members for this career mode. So let's go ahead and take a look at the team. So obviously, we have our staff, which I'll tackle first. Ooh, I did not hit the... Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create members. I'm just going to create people. Just create people. I'm just going to put... yeah, I'm just going to put... Since I... did not since I technically didn't what should I call it, alright, so now so what I'm basically doing is I'm making staff members. Obviously not really caring what their name is, or well, I kind of am. That's why I'm editing them. So what I'm doing now is we're going to be hiring. So here we go. Here's the staff. So we have Abby Griffin as our technical chief. We have Harry Johnson as our head of hero person. We have Paul as our sporting director. We have Paul Rivera as our race engineer, as well as Paulo Angelina as our second race engineer. So for our drivers, we're going to have drivers who were in Formula 1 but got sacked in RL. So we're going to have Stelfel Van Dorn as... actually, I'm going to bring on Antonio Giovinazzi, and then we're going to bring along Mick Schumacher to the grid. So there's that as well. So once again, we have Mick Schumacher behind the wheel of one of our race cars. And then we're gonna have Mick Schumacher and Antonio Giovinazzi in our driver lineup. So there's that as well. Just let me take care of something real quick. There we go. Alright, the next step now is to select our powertrain, which out of all these powertrains, Ferrari has pretty much the best of both sides, or kind of has... Pretty much Ferrari has the worst durability out of all the teams when it comes to the gearbox, but has decent durability in the engine. ERS, not very good either. Very good fuel efficiency though. Has pretty good power, but the powertrain that I'm gonna go with is actually Mercedes, because we actually maintain our power. Not only that, but we also get some really good durability. So we're gonna go with Mercedes power unit. For the team branding, we actually already have a car saved for this team, so I'll get to that in just a second of what that is. There's our race suits, the logo for the team. Here it is. Ford. The team. So this is actually the car that we're going to be rolling for our first season. I will probably change the car in a little bit, but this is the car that we will be driving or managing throughout the whole career mode. So there's that. And we're going to go ahead and do team branding, which is going to be blue. And then black is our secondary color and our tertiary color. So there's that. And blue, obviously, will be our primary color. And we're actually going to go ahead and go to our team principal here. So we're going... So let's see. Oh, I have a perfect name. Kimmy Dempsey. Alright. Interesting name. Alright, so. Career difficulty. So we obviously have 3 options for car development and race standard, or race. So there's hard, which an in-depth approach to car development projects will be required to develop your car at competitive rates, a demanding challenge. Then we have standard, which is basically normal difficulty. Then we have easy difficulty, which it will be easy to develop the car at a competitive rate, basically for new players. Race, however, hard difficulty will basically make other teams highly intelligent and aggressively efficient with their strategies and tactics. A demanding challenge. Then we obviously have the normal difficulty. Then we have the other teams will be conservative and display minimal aggression in races. So we'll do standard for both race and car development. So we're going to start a new game, and we're going to go ahead and lead Ford Motor Company to its first championships in Formula 1 history, I think. Anyways, now, here we are at the team hub. Obviously, already by the look at our mentality hub, it is mostly negative, but there are some positives to the team. So, like, Lieutenant Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher are both positive. Let's take a look at the car we're going to be driving, or both Giovinazzi and Schumacher will be driving this year. So, let's take a look. We're going to compare it to one of the worst teams, aka Sauber. So, taking a look, I do think that, just looking at the cornering, we are barely slower than Sauber. High speed is going to be a close battle, so interesting, pretty much. So, with that, let's see, Alpine's not so good of a team either. So, again, we're going to be slower than Alpine for most part of the year. So, our main competitor for the most part of the year is going to be Sauber for a decent bit. Taking a look at our objective, we have to be ninth or above at the end of the season. So basically, we got to outperform 2 teams out of the 11 teams on the grid. So that could be Alpine, Sauber, honestly. But let's go ahead and take a look at our drivers section. Obviously, we have both of our drivers. They're both on 2-year contracts, which that's not bad, but it's also not good in a way. Actually, I think that's decent, actually. I think that's good, yeah. Yeah, now that I think about it, that's actually a pretty good thing, actually. So, like I said before, obviously our main drivers are positive in terms of mentality. Negative mentality for our race engineers. If we take a look at affiliates, we only have 2 affiliates, which we have a female affiliate and a male affiliate driver. So we're going to go ahead and actually put Jen on the car development training, and for, however you say that, for her, we will actually put her on marking ability. So there's that. So we'll come back to the affiliate section later. Take a look at our staff department. It looks like Abby Griffin's on a last season contract. Harry Johnson is going to be on a 2-year contract, and so is Pollard. So, to be honest, I think we're going to take a look at replacing Abby Griffin. So we're going to go to Tackle Chief and go look at ratings here. So there is a free agent that's worse than all of the current Tackle Chiefs on the grid. As far as Tackle Chiefs concerned, I think we're going to replace Abby Griffin with Pierre Watch. So we're going to go for next season contract. We're going to give him 5 years, $5 million. So we're going to pay Mr. Pierre a bit of money here. So let's see how much it would be for $3 million. Oh, it wouldn't even matter. So we're going to offer, we're going to propose a contract to Pierre Watch. We're going to give him a 5-year contract starting next season. We're going to be giving him a $4.5 million contract. Breakout multiplier is 0.5. Obviously, we can improve this or bump it up if we want to, but we're not going to improve it. Then we have no signing bonus. And we're going to offer the deadline. Pierre has 28 days to pretty much accept this contract. So we're going to go ahead and offer Pierre Watch the contract here. Once again, 5 years, that'll take place next season. He'll get $4.5 million a year. No signing bonus as well. So, contract proposal is sent, so that's good. So, now what we need to do is go ahead and get free agents for this season and next year. So if we take a look at our affiliates, they're both available for 2 years. So we're going to need 2 affiliates for car development, 2 more for marketing. So we're going to go ahead and get Ravon and offer her a contract as well. And obviously we're going to make sure they start immediately because they're not doing anything right now. So there's that. There's Ravon, who accepts the contract. Very good. Who will be starting out as a marking ability? So now we just need 1 more marking ability personnel. we're going to get James Howdy. We're going to start him this year immediately. And again, we're going to give him the start now contract. And he accepts. Very good. That is one of our engineer people. So there's that. We're going to go ahead and get one more car development person. And that will be this guy right here. It will... Oh, that's going to be close. Uh-oh. Might have lowered the money too low. Oh, hey. He actually will start with us. Cool. Interesting. That was really close. So we now have 3 car development drivers. Now we just need 2 more. We just need another affiliate for marking ability, which this young lady will do that. Once again, we're going to make her start now. Offer the contract immediately. And there's her contract. And she accepts. There we go. Confirm hire. So, we now have pretty much 3 affiliates for car development. The other 3 of which will be for marking ability. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab Kimi Antonelli. Now, the reason I'm going to be grabbing Kimi Antonelli is to make sure he's an affiliate for our team next season. But the problem is, though, if we take a look at our facilities, in particular the staff, right now their weekly development is only at 10%, or actually is at none right now. So I think I'm just going to let Kimi Antonelli develop on his own and not have him around on the grid until we really need to. So yeah, there's that as well. So honestly, if it were me, I think we could possibly, again, same thing with Abby Pulling, just let her develop. Kimi Antonelli will develop. So the 2 people we will be or the 2 drivers we are going to be watching out for. I'm going to bookmark some drivers. Just because. I think you can only bookmark so many drivers at a time. So we're going to be bookmarking Russell, Kimi Antonelli, Abby Pulling. Who else? Albon. I don't know. I don't know about Albon. I don't know. We'll see. So there's that as well. So how many drivers can we only bookmark? Okay, so we only can bookmark 5 drivers. It would be kind of funny if I can bring Max Verstappen into the team. That would be really hilarious if I could. I guess I'll do Piastri as well, just because, why not? Alright, so, the people I'm going to be scouting, during this time. So, since we have 2 scouts, I'm going to go ahead and start scouting people, which are going to be, I think we're going to go for Jonathan. Oh, nope, not proposed contract. We're going to scout Jonathan Wheatley as a scouting director, or sporting director. Then I'm going to scout Diego, who's also in last year contracts, to see if their ratings are any good to keep, or to bring into the team. So, because the reason I say that is because Our head of Arrow, Harry Johnson, is in a 2-year contract. So is Polar. So I want to see if the people I want to hire are even worth bringing in. So there's that. I'm actually, what I'm going to do here is I am going to edit the scouting, or not the scout, the pit schedule, and kind of just balance it out here. And I'm going to make it to a point to where we can actually start doing pit drills. So, yeah, there's that as well. So 8%, still 8, 17, okay. That'll be good enough. So we're going to be making sure that our pit stops are actually decent on pit road when it comes to the Grand Prix in particular. So we're going to go ahead and confirm the pit training. So we got the scouts, we got the pit crew training. We need to go ahead and set up the sliders for our staff. So for Abby, we're going to make sure we go for ground effects for her development. For Harry Johnson, I think we go for grip and traction. Yeah, let's do grip and traction here. Let's do that. And then for our pit director, we will go for this. Now for our drivers, Eternal Gemini's worst stats is actually, as far as Eternal Gemini's worst stats, is going to be wheel-to-wheel race strategy. Or, we're going to do wheel-to-wheel actually for Gemini, because his stats are kind of worse in the race pace category. Or, well, I don't know. Overtaking defending is kind of his weakest stats. Now, Schumacher is actually going to be the same. Actually, false. It's going to be race strategy because of his smoothness is not really the best. Neither is overtaking or defending, so we will take care of reactions as well while we're at it. So there's that as well. So once again, our race engineers, we don't really need to worry about them too much. So we'll go do driver comms for Rivera, but for Angelina, we'll kind of do let's do car analysis for him as well. Let's just do car analysis for Angelina, and then we'll do driver comms for Rivera. Sorry. Kind of speaking a little too quick, and he's slowed down. So Rivera will be on the driver communications, while Angelina will do the car setup, car analysis. So there's that. Now the next thing we need to do is develop the car for this season. So we have 6 parts. We have chassis, front wing, rear wing, side pod, underfloor, and suspension. If we take a look at the car, the chassis does the best in top speed. Rear wing is the best for DRS effectiveness. Low speed, it's going to be the front wing that will do best. Rear wing for medium speed. Underfloor for high speed. Front wing for dirty air tolerance. Suspension will be best for tire preservation. Side pods will be best for engine cooling. So we're going to be kind of develop the car around the cornering side, as well as bumping up our top speed. So what we actually are going to do is we go to the car parts, design. We're going to go ahead and make our underfloor. And we're going to use all of our ATR period, all of our CFD time, and wind tunnel time on the underfloor, because the underfloor is arguably like the best part Probably one of, if not the best part to develop in the entire grid. So there's that. So this is going to be the under 4 that we're going to be building. We're going to maximize the downforce stats. So medium speed, low speed, high speed, we're going to maximize. Drag reduction, we're going to minimize. Same thing with airflow sensitivity and minimum lifespan. Basically, what the lifespan does is basically it'll tell you how long a certain part will last. So the more lifespan you put into the car part, the longer it'll last, but it'll significantly weaken the performance of a part's potential. Or it'll basically hit the potential that the car part will be able to perform. So it would do really well if the car part didn't have so much durability. And we're actually going to make sure that this car part doesn't have too much durability at all. So, yeah. So we're now going to go ahead and go to development focus. We're going to put all of our employees we can into this part, which is going to be 6 employees. So there's that. Next thing we're going to do is do chassis. No CFD time available because, again, we already used it. So we got to wait till after Bahrain to use it. We're going to go ahead and maximize drag reduction, minimize DRS delta, minimize the engine cooling, maximize airflow middle, and on top of that as well, again, minimize the lifespan for the chassis. So we're going to get a huge buff in the high speed as well as acceleration, top speed, and medium speed as well. We are going to lose a spot in DRS effectiveness, which will be okay, honestly. And we're going to go ahead and put all of our engineers in the chassis, all we can, which is going to be 4. And we have no money left. Not a single penny left in the bank to use up. So we're kind of just living on Cheerios at this point. So there's that. Rivera is on his last season contract as well. So we do need to we need to keep an eye out for our engineers. Whenever we can. We could probably take a Mercedes engineer, which I probably will, to be honest. Yeah, I think to be honest, yeah, I'm gonna probably just do it like that. Just grab the top engineers, so, yeah. We're gonna go ahead, we have the scout ready, we have our pit crew and development stuff ready. Affiliates ready, cars ready. Okay, so now we can go ahead and move in the calendars. So now we're gonna wait. We're basically gonna go through time here and wait till we can negotiate with our sponsors, or negotiate with sponsors, because we need a sponsor. We need a title sponsor, obviously. Diego and Jonathan came back. So actually, if we take a look at the inbox, this is their actual ratings. So again, yeah, Diego's rating as a head of Arrow will be worth getting. So that'll be worth it. Jonathan Wheatley, again, very good stats. I honestly will get their basically, I will pretty much buy the team's contracts if we can, which we will. So we're going to go ahead now and negotiate with sponsors here. So we have 3 title sponsors to choose from. We have Abeos, APTRD, and we have also Mariam Coin, which is basically cryptocurrency, basically. So basically the difference between any of these sponsors is how much money we are getting up front, which Abeos is actually giving us the most money up front. While both of these two sponsors are giving us a lot of money and engagement, this sponsor actually is better overall as far as upfront money and as well as race day money. So we're actually going to go ahead. Excuse me, good lord. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and choose a Baos here, just because of the fact that the money up front is going to be so much. Almost 22 million. We can do so much with that money. However, with these two, we can only do so much with 2 or 3 million. But this money, we can do a lot with that money. So we're going to go ahead and choose a Baos here. So we can leave the way it is here in the sponsorship negotiations. We can obviously not go for the optional sponsors and just go with our main sponsor, but if we are getting optional, if we're basically getting told, hey, here's sponsors you can choose, like this for example, we are going to actually go for it. So we have 6 extra sponsors we can get, and the sponsors are actually quite decent actually. So we have quite a few things to choose from. I think all of them are actually really decent to get. So we're going to go ahead and get Ray KKA Electrolyte Energy. So there's going to be 2 mandatory activities for the energy drink sponsor. We're going to go for Henrik's Engineering. Accor, we're going to go and get them as well. They give us a decent amount of money. We're also going to get Web Effects, whatever that is. We're going to get that as well. And we're also going to go and get Firmstar because they give us the season benefits. They'll increase our facility effectiveness, which is going to be really good. So we'll go and get that. And there it is. We have an additional, what, 10 million, I think, right? Almost 10 million increase, $10 million increase from what we had before. So we're also going to potentially get $17 million from engagement. We're also going to potential $18 million from the potential from race day funding. So that's going to be good. So we're going to go confirm it. We're going to get $66.5 million in total funding if we even get close to the potential funding. So we'll go ahead and we'll pretty much confirm this. Obviously we do have the sponsors to edit, so I think we have the sponsors already in the car actually. Yeah, so I don't think I need to edit this car actually. Yeah, I don't even need to touch it. Yeah, I don't even need to touch the car, really. The same could go with the suits as well. Except for this. Yeah, except for that. Change. We're obviously going to go with, oh, I can barely see that. This is our back. Again, we're going to go ahead and change this sponsor. That should be at the top. Now let's grab that. Change. No. I think let's go for this right now. Let's go with that. And then we'll change this to boom. But I think I'm going to change the color to where, yeah, we can actually see it. Move. We're going to make it slightly larger so we can see the sponsor a bit better. There we go. That's not our sponsor. We will change it to that. There we go. Change. that. Not move. Change. And then put this. Yeah. And then we're going to change. Yep, change this. Or can we? There we go. Where's this? Okay. There's that. Where's this? Okay. Let's put it. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, so there's the shoulders, the hands, okay, the gloves. So let's change it to our title sponsor. We can obviously put one at the middle of the glove if we wanted to, which I will do that. Let's do. There we go. Alright, so there we go. We're going to go ahead and apply changes. And overwrite this. Yes, I would love to do that. Alright, so we're going to go continue on now. We have a sponsor plan now to pretty much do. Let's go ahead and tackle said sponsor plan. Excuse me. So, now we're going to go ahead and actually begin the engagement activities. Every sponsorship plan, every sponsor plan, basically, there is a particular period in time, or I'm going to call it engagement period, basically meaning that you get an opportunity to set up your sponsor plan during the engagement period. There are 8 engagement periods during the season. So obviously we have one from right now till after Australia. So from week 1 to week 6 of the season. So everything is on a 6-week plan. There are 36 weeks of the season. So from week 1 to week 36, there are 6 week periods in between it. So we're going to go ahead and actually go ahead and do some engagement activities. So we have 12, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 activities we can choose from. 3 of which are going to be really beneficial for us, which is actually going to be the ones that have the affiliate engagement. So, and because we have the driver development to focus on marketing ability, we actually get a driver contribution to said plan. So we get more points added to the affiliates. So we're going to go and do that, and that will completely fill the whole sponsorship plan. And we'll get $3.13 million from the sponsor plan, so that is going to be really good. And actually, the best thing about this is that we don't have to worry about losing the factory performance, CFD performance, design center performance, our scouting abilities, the sport director ability, and race engineering ability. We don't have to compromise any of that alongside with our drivers. So it's really beneficial that you put your affiliates on marketing ability. So we're going to go ahead and begin sponsorship plan, or begin the sponsor plan for this current engagement period. And we are going to get a guarantee of $3 million from this plan. So there we go. Now, the next thing we're going to do is actually go ahead and build facilities. I'm going to upgrade the factory to level 3, or to level 2, because we had the option to upgrade this facility, or have this facility at level 2 by default, but I chose not to. So we're going to go ahead and actually upgrade the factory. We're also going to upgrade, or build, rather. We're going to build the race simulator and team hub. we're also... No, we are not going to build a Winter Center. We are going to build the helipad. We're also going to build the tour center. We're also going to build the memorial room. So there's that as well. Speaking of the staff, Harry Johnson and Paul are actually on two-year season contracts. So speaking of said people, we actually are going to go ahead and hire next season staff. So we're gonna give. So we're going to give. So we are going to give Diego a 5-year contract that starts next season, and we will be paying him 4.3 million each season. And we're giving him a week to think about the contract. Also, sadly, we do have to pay a small fine, a small amount of money, because we are replacing a staff that was supposed to go through their contract. So, once Diego accepts the contract, we will be paying 1.2 million when Diego accepts it. So, there's that. Same thing will go through with our sport director. We're actually are going to renew. We're actually no. We're not going to renew. We're actually going to hire Jonathan Wheatley next season. So again, 5 seasons. And let me lower the money here to where it's affordable. So Jonathan Wheatley will start next season. He'll be on a 5-year contract again. Starting next year, we'll be giving him 3.5 million. We will give him 21 days to think of the contract, and again, we will be paying 1.2 million to whatchamacallit. So again, we will be giving him, speak English, Brad. So we're gonna have to pay Polar, I think. So because we are breaking contracts with Polar, aka our sport director, we're gonna have to pay him a little bit more money to get rid of his contract. So yeah, kind of same situation as our head of Arrow, but we will be giving him, or we will be giving Jonathan 7 days for 5 years. Start next year, paying him 3.5 million a year, plus the extra 1.2 million. So yeah, there's that. Well, not the extra 1.2 million, but you know what I mean. So there's Jonathan Wheatley in negotiation. Diego's obviously in negotiation. So taking a look at our race engineers, we do have our race engineer leaving at the end of the year. Our race engineer leaving after this season. So we're going to actually hire a good race engineer for next season. And I'm actually going to hire Marcus Doodley. That or Bono. Who do I hire first? Yeah, let's hire Marcus for right now. So, obviously, if we put next season as our starting date, we'll have to pay less than 430 million. Or not 430 million, Jesus Christ. $430,000 to break Angelina's contract. But if we go to Car 1, we don't have to pay a fine to break contracts. So we're going to go ahead and give Marcus a decent contract here. But it's going to be a lot of money, actually. It's going to be $1.5 million. That is a lot of money. So it's not going to matter, actually. I think we'll just scout for now and see who's better out of the two, Marcus or Bono. I think we would have to pay Bono a little bit more money, but then again, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, our staff is actually now actually mostly neutral as far as our mentality hub. Our drivers are still positive, which is good. So now we can actually do development on our other parts. And the one other parts we will be developing is going to be the side pods. So we're going to minimize drag reduction, maximize engine cooling, minimize airflow fronts. We're going to maximize the airflow middle and minimize the lifespan on this. And like I said, and like I'm about to say now, engine cooling is going to get a massive buff. Same thing with high speed. But we are going to lose some top speed. But then again, we are gaining speed with our chassis, so it's pretty much okay at this point. And we're going to get one employee to work on the side pods. The next thing we're going to do is actually the next part I will be working on is actually going to be a front wing, because the front wing is actually going to be like really good to work on, because we kind of need to work on the front wing. So actually, we're going to do this for the front wing. So maximize low speed, minimize everything else but airflow front, and maximize that. So we're actually, again, going to get a massive buff on the low speed. Decent buff on middle speed. Unfortunately, we're going to take a hit on high speed, but it is what it is. We are going to get a huge buff anyway on the underfloor and chassis and side pods. So it's going to be okay if we take a nerf here on the high speed side of things. But we're going to go ahead and put 2 engineers on the front wing. So there's that as well. I think that's all for now. I think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and advance on to the Bahrain Grand Prix. Here's the helipad, as well as the boiler room done as far as construction. So our driver updates. No driver went up in their development. This is our strategy preparation. My boiler room is done, so the construction of the boiler room is done. So we get +2 on mentality, +7 on attractiveness for the team, and +10 on the marketing ability. So that's pretty good. Helipad, we're going to get +1% on sponsor target payouts. Team attractiveness for the team goes up by 10, as well as the team marketing ability. So that's pretty good. So yeah. If we take a look at those said facilities now, we can obviously bump or upgrade these facilities again. If we upgrade the boiler room, we'll get an extra +10 on the marketing ability, +3 more on the team attractiveness, and +2 on the mentality. And for our helipad, if we upgrade again, +10 on marketing ability, +5 on team attractiveness, and an extra % on sponsor target payout. So that'll be pretty good. And we're actually going to go ahead and save and take a look at our race targets, which will be 18th, 20th, and 21st. So that is pretty interesting as well. Like the Salva Career mode, as you saw, I have an extra save to go on. And that is actually what I'm going to do, is I'm actually going to have a duplicate save. So that way, in case I lose, like the stream crashes or something, I can at least go back. I can pretty much go back to the save I already had saved. So that way, like that way, if let's just say I did the whole race weekend and then I was on the last lap, stream crashed or something, I can basically go back to that save, and it would suck. I would have to go back and go through that episode, but I wouldn't lose anything. So that way I can reset the episode, and then we wouldn't have lost anything as far as progress. So there's that. But we're going to go ahead and get ready at Bahrain for the first race of the season. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for the first race of the season. We have obviously 3 objectives, or 3 targets to choose from. We have 18th, 20th, or 21st. I'm actually going to make them go 18th for the first race, because 18th will actually be doable with these cars at Bahrain with a certain strategy. So let's go ahead and get ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the grid is set to grow. A new season is upon us as Formula One returns to the Middle East, ready to kick things off here in Bahrain. But change is afoot. The paddock has grown, the grid extended. Yes, that's right. 11 teams, 22 drivers, and the hottest competition motorsport has to offer.
What teams learned in pre-season testing will be put into practice now, with all of them hoping they make the right calls with the data they have.
Let's see what the weekend has in store.
Alright, hold on. Give me like 2 seconds here. I'll be right back again. And there we are. We are here now at Bahrain for the first race of the season. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all dry. So each race has 2 practice sessions on Friday or Thursday, depending on the race weekend. Then on Friday or Saturday, you have an extra practice session right before qualifying. So you have 3 quality sessions and a practice session on Saturday or Friday. And then the last day of the race weekend, depending on if it's Sunday or Saturday, obviously you have the main race. That's for the most part of the season, but we'll get to the other kind of weekends we get once we get there. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. For the FP1 preparations, we're going to make sure Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher have 22 laps, and they're on conserve for their pace and fuel usage. And ER strategy, they're going to be using harvest for the whole duration of their stints. So there's that as well. And the setup for both drivers, we're going to have this set up. If you're familiar with this, that's because I am using a website called f1sub.it. I will have it linked down in the YouTube description as well. If you are playing this on F1 Manager, it makes it really easy to get 100% on your setups. All you gotta do is just look at your values in here, plug them into the calculator, really. That's what it is. And then go off of the feedback, and then obviously it'll get you a new setup to test out. So that way, you don't have to play the mini game that I pretty much do all the time, or used to. So it makes this way too easy. Or I shouldn't really say that because it is easy. But it makes things a lot easier for you and for the team as well. So that way you can actually have 100% for your setup, confidence, as well as the driver preparation. So it actually has the benefit of using the setup calculator, obviously. So we're going to use this as their starting ground for Schumacher and as well as Antonio Giovinazzi. So there's that as well for Giovinazzi. And we're going to go ahead and get ready for FP1 for the first practice session of the season. Let's get it.
Green.
Alright. Alright. So now, basically, what we're doing right now is just kind of waiting on Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher to kind of get their setups optimal. So there's that. And Mick Schumacher is at great. And Giovinazzi also ready for his setup. So it looks like we'll be taking care of Schumacher before we take care of Giovinazzi here. So we'll go ahead and take care of that. So here's Mick Schumacher, optimal for the straights and oversteer. Very good. His traction and braking stability was good. Cornering was at great. That's very good. We're going to lower the anti-roll distribution, as well as the tire camber and toe out. So this is going to be the changes that Mick Schumacher will be making. Well, now here's the setup changes for Mick Schumacher. And we're going to put him on the soft tires as well. And we're going to do kind of the same thing we kind of just did to Schumacher. That's exactly what we're going to do with Giovinazzi. Great on oversteer and braking stability while everything else is at optimal. That's very, very good. So this is going to be Antonio Giovinazzi's setup changes. We're also going to be putting him on the soft tires, like his teammate. So that way they're on equal tires. So that way they most likely have the same amount of tires for each compound. So, yeah. And we're going to get them back out for their second stint here in FP1. So yeah, hopefully we can get something done here at Bahrain. Also, by the way, this episode is actually going to be the longest one to do because it's the start of a new LP, aka new career mode, so it's going to take the longest for me to get set up, so yeah. Alright. So basically, this part of the weekend kind of pretty much practice FP1 and FP2, but kind of becomes a hangout chat because there's nothing really to do other than just sit here and wait till your drivers are done with the setup feedback. So we're kind of just sitting here, kind of hoping they get done quickly. Mick Schumacher, his setup confidence was that good. That doesn't tell me much. If anything, it tells me that his setup just went down. It kind of got worse, if anything. So here's Giovinazzi done. So Giovinazzi is done. So Giovinazzi is done with this run as far as setups. However, for Mick Schumacher, he's going to need another stint. So Schumacher's oversteer went from optimal to great, while everything else kind of stayed the same. So yeah, there's that. So we're gonna bump up the anti-roll distribution. We're gonna bump the tire camber and as well as the toe out. And we're also gonna keep the rear wing angle and the front wing angle the way it is. So this will be his new setup changes for Mick Schumacher. We'll bring him back to the hards. And let's see what we need to work on for Giovinazzi's car. Let's see. So optimal on traction, straights, and oversteer. Very good. And braking stability and cornering is at great. Not the best, but it's good. So we're going to keep this, keep these three things the same, but change tire camber and toe out. So this will be the new setup changes. And we will put them on the hards as well. And we will be waiting for Mick Schumacher to get ready for a new stint. As a matter of fact, I don't know if Giovinazzi will be able to get his setup done. Or his reconfiguration done in time. We'll see. It's going to be enough, but it's not really going to do much here. So the checker flag is out for Giovinazzi and Schumacher. So there's that. The only reason I let them both back out anyway, despite there not being enough time for a lap, is because I kind of just wanted them out so that way they have more car part knowledge and track allocation in. So yeah, there's that. This is their practice goals right there. Here is FP1. Perez was the fastest in FP1. So there's that. So again, our car's at the very back. Not really expecting much here. I kind of am expecting us to be at the rear for most of the season. Kind of expect us to be at the rear as far as practice, but once our car gets better, I kind of do expect us to not be very close to last place, but close enough to where that we're actually further ahead. Again, we're going to set our run plan 22 laps long, conserve, harvest, and we're going to go ahead and let them out on the mediums to open the session up. FP1, obviously, as you saw from earlier, there were affiliates. As you saw from the practice session that we had just earlier, teams like McLaren, I think Mercedes, some other teams, as you know, some teams had affiliates, some didn't. That's because FP1 is the session where affiliates are allowed to get in the race car for FP1, and FP1 only during the race weekend. And after FP1, all the regular drivers go back to their cars if they did not do FP1. So basically, think of the main drivers kind of coaching the affiliates as they drive the car during the practice sessions. So, yeah. Alright.
Traction was amazing.
And Mick Schumacher is at optimal. He is in the final percentage, though. But that doesn't mean he's done yet, though. And Mick Schumacher, here's his setup update. So, optimal on everything but braking stability, which is at great. Very good. And we're going to bump up his toe out here. So this will be Mick Schumacher's new updates to his setup. And we will be putting him on the softs. And let's see where Giovinazzi will be here at his setup confidence. Let's see. Once he gets enough time in, we'll see. Alright, Antonio Giovinazzi is done for the race weekend as far as setup changes. That is good. So he could stay out for the rest of his stint on the medium tire. So there's Schumacher now on the softs. So there's that. That's one driver we have to not worry about anymore for practice as far as their race setup. Alright. Oh, I did not see that Antonio Giovinazzi returned to the garage. Whoops. Whoopsie. I did not notice Antonio Giovinazzi did not return to the garage. I did not notice he returned to the garage. My bad. Whoops. So sorry. I did not see him. I did not see him. That's on my bad, honestly. So let's see how Schumacher does here.
Really good.
And Mick Schumacher will be done for this race weekend as well for setups. So very good. And there we go. So once again, we are done for Bahrain as far as managing their setups. So now we can just sit here and chill and relax. Alright. So, we are now done with FP2. Sergio Perez is the fastest in the session. And he will be... So yeah, Perez fastest in FP1 and FP2 so far. Hopefully he can keep that streak alive for FP3. So, yeah. So, 89%, 88% for driver preparations for both Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher. So there's that as well. And we are now ready for pretty much qualifying. So we're now going to simulate FP3. I will show the results for FP3 as well. So let's get to qualifying.
We're moving on now to the all-important qualifying session.
Bahrain's track is dusty and abrasive, and even under the floodlights, qualifying is tough on soft tires. Teams will need to use their tire allocations wisely.
Karoon, how do you think Logan Sargent's going to be feeling at the moment?
Looking at the lap times, we saw a real lack of pace from them in practice. They never looked quite comfortable with the setup, and they'll need to try something new for qualifying if they want to get past Q1.
And with that, let's get back onto the track.
Alright. So we are now getting ready for qualifying. So for qualifying, I will make sure our drivers will have 100% setups, if possible, if I get the opportunity to. 2 flying laps for both of our drivers in qualifying. No more laps added for fuel. And if we go to, let's say, Giovinazzi's car and include cooldown laps, it's going to add more fuel, so we'll just do no for including cooldown lap for fuel. So we're going to go ahead and actually save. And before we actually do that, we're going to take a look at FP3, and Max Verstappen was fastest in FP3. So Max Verstappen will not, or Sergio Perez will not be the quickest in all practice sessions. Schumacher 18th, Giovinazzi 22nd here on the grid. So now we're going to go ahead and start qualifying here at Bahrain.
Green.
So I'm going to go ahead and let Schumacher and Giovinazzi head out for the start of qualifying here. And it looks like Schumacher locked up.
Went too quick. Oh, so annoying.
So it looks like Schumacher is going to be 4/10 slower than Giovinazzi despite the lockup. We're going to add a second lap, or a second stint, for both drivers. So that way we get the extra chance of making it to the next session. Sargent spun at turn 11. And we're going to go ahead and let both drivers out for their last stints here at qualifying. So, looks like Schumacher's having a better lap this time around. Schumacher now on pace with Giovinazzi. Schumacher is doing better in Sector 1. Or did better in Sector 1. He'll do better in Sector 2. Let's see if it's going to be an improvement. Coming out of the final corner. Are we going to have a shot at Q2? It doesn't look like neither will. So we will start at the back for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. So, interesting. Last on the grid for both cars. Max Verstappen was quickest in Q1. So let's see. Zhou Guanyu, Logan Sargent, Albon, Valtteri Bottas, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Mick Schumacher do not advance to Q2. And Lando Norris will take pole position here at Bahrain. Leclerc was the quickest in Q2. So there's that as well. Alonso, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Ocon, Gasly, Magnussen did not advance to Q3. So that's going to be interesting.
Here in Sakir, the floodlights are on, and it's nearly time for 57 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit.
Bahrain has seen some of the most dramatic races in F1, like Sergio Perez's incredible 2020 victory, surging ahead from being last on the opening lap.
Bahrain International Circuit was Formula One's first venue in the Middle East, and is still a calendar favourite. Dusty and challenging, this desert track is a real test of endurance for teams and for drivers. Welcome to race day. And before we get down to it, last-minute checks are being made.
Alright, here we go. It is time for the Grand Prix. So it looks like our drivers will be doing a medium and soft tire stints. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right. So let's do this and then conserve a little bit, and then yeah, let's do something like that. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So let's do this strategy for Giovinazzi. We'll go medium, or we'll go standard and race pace for the first stint on softs, and then we'll do extreme pace on mediums, and then go light on the soft tires at the end. For Schumacher, we are obviously going to push the mediums. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, let's do this. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So for Schumacher, we will do a soft stint on conserve or light, and then we'll have a stint on soft for the conserve side, and then mediums on extreme here. For our drivers, we're going to minimize our fuel load. What that means is that we're going to have to save fuel throughout the whole race until like the last bit of it. So let's see how we do. I hope we can actually go away, like pull away from last place here. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix for the first race of the season. And with that, let's go ahead and get ready. And yeah, let's race at Bahrain.
You're witnessing a new chapter in Formula One as 11 teams line up on the grid. Logan Sargent, definitely one to keep an eye on today.
They'll be a bit frustrated to start in P18, but if they nail their race strategy, who knows what they can pull off.
Here we go. It's time to go racing. This is it. 22 cars on the grid. And it's lights out and away we go.
And it's lights out and away we go. We're going to take a look at everybody's tires. And already right off the bat, Giovinazzi is going to get a good start. It's going to get him up to 20th. But he's going to have a load of traffic here going into turn 1. Everybody trying to get through turn 1 here. Nice and smooth here. And we are going to lose the spot to Valtteri Bottas for 20th. And Max Verstappen coming out of the corner. He's going to be being put under pressure by Lando Norris. Lando, I think, got pushed off by Verstappen, and he will lead the first lap. Carlos Sainz and Leclerc fighting it out. It's going to be Sainz, though, with the fastest lap. Here comes Lando Norris for the race lead. He's going to challenge the Red Bull, the Dutchman, and he's going to do it. Going out of 1 and 2. He's going to take the lead away. Leclerc is going to join them on the podium. As I'm going to pause here and make sure our drivers are on the maximum deployment for ERS as Lando Norris leads the Grand Prix. Leclerc on the podium. Then we have Carlos Sainz right behind his teammate for the 3rd spot. Perez, Piastri in 5th and 6th. Then you have Russell, Hamilton, Alonso. Then you have Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll. They're fighting it out for the last point on the grid. Then you have Hulkenberg and Tsunoda fighting it out for 12th. Gasly looking for that position as well. Then you have Altcon being challenged by Magnussen. Excuse me. Altcon being challenged by Kevin Magnussen for 15th. Joe Guanyu being challenged by the young American of Logan Sargent. And Alexander Albon, as well as Valtteri Bottas. Then you have both of the Ford Motor Company drivers in the last couple of spots on the grid. So this is going to be a tough Grand Prix for us, as we will be conserving, or pretty much starting on the soft. So anything can happen here at the start of the race weekend, or pretty much the whole season altogether here. And it looks like the top 6 are kind of all here together. Here comes Max Verstappen, though, to take the position away from Lando Norris for the race lead. But here comes Lando, I believe, who has DRS. But it's not going to be enough for Lando Norris, as he will have to settle with 2nd place for the moment. And we're now going to look on at our drivers here. And it looks like we have finally caught up to one of the Salvers, and that is Joe Guanyu. Schumacher will get the pass done right away on the young Chinese driver. But here comes Antonio Giovinazzi. Can he make the pass done? No, not quite yet. Antonio Giovinazzi got replaced by Joe Guanyu for a spot in Formula 1. And now Antonio Giovinazzi does overtake Joe Guanyu for the 21st spot. And we got a couple of positions to go. We are kind of in that conversation for midfield, as you can see, from, I believe that's 14th on back. We're kind of all fighting for a position, the constructors, at this current moment. Schumacher fighting the young, or pretty much the flying fin of Valtteri Bottas and the kick salver. And Schumacher does get the pass done. Schumacher gets it done on Bottas for 19th, but Tony Giovinazzi trying to do the same but can't do it. He's going to have to settle with 21st at the moment. And now we're going to see it here. Schumacher trying to challenge the Williams. Now, Tony Giovinazzi got around Bottas for the 20th position. Very good for Ford. And now we're going to try and challenge Albon and Sargent for the 17th spot. And we are going to have DRS on the Williams once again. Both of the Williams cars. Try and see if we can push around. We're going to move up to 18th, passing Sargent. And how about this? Alonso taking the fastest lap in a very not so quick of Aston Martin. And how about this? Schumacher now up to 16th. He just got around Gasly for that spot. Look at Mick Schumacher. He is moving up on the grid here in the first race of the season. We hadn't even gotten through 15 laps yet, and we're already seeing great performance by Mick Schumacher. Very good stuff from him, from the young German. But Giovinazzi's struggling in his first race of the year. Obviously, this is his first year in this car. And he gets around Logan Sargent for the 19th spot. He's now Tony Giovinazzi is closing up to the Williams and the Alpine of Gasly and the Williams of Albon. And it looks like drivers are wearing out their tires quite a bit, and that's allowing us to pull next to them. And now look at this. We're now going to move up on Kevin Magnussen for the 15th spot, and Schumacher will secure P15. And it looks like Antonio Giovinazzi got it done for 18th. He passed the Alpine to make it happen, and he did. Now we're going to see if we can put a challenge on to Esteban Ocon here in this race so far. Pit stops have yet to happen yet, but it's going to happen pretty soon here in Bahrain. And speaking of, Pierre Gasly does pull to the pits. And Russell locks up, I think, the first one of the night.
The brakes couldn't cope.
He's behind Lewis.
Just unable to do much about it.
A small luck up, but he lost a load of time on his teammate of Lewis Hamilton. Gasly now coming out of the pits, and he's going to be on the medium tire, so we'll see how that works out. And it looks like Schumacher now trying to fight Esteban Ocon for 14th. He's going to get wheel-to-wheel with Ocon. He makes it happen. Clears Ocon. He is now moving up to 14th. Norris, Sainz, Piastri, all coming down to pit road. And it looks like McLaren did a double stack. I think they had enough time to do the double stack, but now both of our drivers will be able to push their tires, but there is a yellow flag in Sector 3. And it looks like to be a wreck. Oh man, that's unfortunate. I believe that was Magnussen and Sargent involved in that accident
And you can just
that took
feel the
place.
frustration from the team watching on the monitors.
That was coming off of the final corner. Very unfortunate, and we're now looking on at Esteban Ocon, who's putting on softs for his second stint, and Gasly's on the mediums. So it looks like Magnussen does have damage on his tires, and he's going to get passed by the Sauber of Joe Guan Yu. And it looks like Logan Sargent will get a penalty for that wreck, and I think it's because Sargent, I think, pushed Magnussen wide coming off in the final corner. So Sargent will get a penalty, a 5-second penalty that A, he'll have to either serve, or B, he'll take that into effect after the race, which the 5 seconds will be put towards his race result. So at the current moment in time, he would be facing pretty much 18th in the Grand Prix. So that's going to be interesting for sure as well. If anybody's going to pit first in our team, it's going to be Antonio Giovinazzi. Excuse me. Lando Norris gets the fast lap. Carlos Sainz now fastest lap. Hulkenberg comes down pit road, as well as Valtteri Bottas. Some drivers will come down now to get new tires on the car. Mick Schumacher will not pit this lap. He will pit the very next lap he gets. And Antonio Giovinazzi will pit this lap on the medium tires. Albon to pit road. So it looks like Sargent is delaying his pit stop. So here it comes. Antonio Giovinazzi at very worn tires. He is now going to come in this time. And let's see what kind of time we can get on pit road. And he's going to get a 2.851. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent now. And he's going to be on the medium tires. He's going to get ahead of Valtteri Bottas and Alex Albon. And now, Mick Schumacher will be pitting this lap. And Mick Schumacher got passed by Lance Stroll. And he will obviously get passed by the 7-time champion of Lewis Hamilton. And eventually, the Spanish driver of Fernando Alonso, the 2-time champion in Formula 1. And here comes Schumacher down pit road. Stroll, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Tsunoda also to pit road, and they have a pit issue. 2.9 for Mick Schumacher. Where does he get ahead? He gets ahead of his teammate, and he's right behind the young Frenchman of Pierre Gasly for 15th. And right now, both of our drivers are meeting the race target expectations for this Grand Prix. So things are going well for the team. As we'll take a look at Albon overtaking Giovinazzi here in the first DRS zone in your flying lap. As you can see here, Albon just pulled a move on Giovinazzi.
Yes.
The Albon will move up to 17th, I believe that position is. But as you now know, Giovinazzi got the position back. The 7-time champion Hamilton gets fast lap. Here comes Albon, and Valtteri Bottas almost overtaking Giovinazzi And Albon pulls away from Antonio Giovinazzi, but I don't think it will be long that Giovinazzi will be attacking the young Williams driver. Actually, now that I think about it, he's not young necessarily. And obviously, as you can see now, Giovinazzi now catching up to Albon right on the gearbox of the Williams. As you can see, Schumacher conserving on those soft tires, trying to make sure they can capitalize on everyone's tire wear in the later stages of this stint. And Schumacher also getting caught up by... Oh, and there's a caution in somewhere. Don't know what it was for, but we'll see if we get a replay opportunity. And it looks like Albon did get around Schumacher, and Giovinazzi does the same to his teammate. But obviously both drivers of Schumacher and Giovinazzi do have DRS on the cars ahead. And taking a look at Giovinazzi on board, his tires are just degrading very badly on these softs, or on the mediums. Obviously he is pushing these tires to the maximum here. And obviously Mick Schumacher has the pace, I think, to get around these guys. But the problem is that he's too far back. His tires, obviously, on the optimal temperatures, but he's not pushing those tires because that's what his strategy tells him to do, is don't push these tires. Giovinazzi gets around Gasly, and so does Schumacher. Let's see how Giovinazzi got it done.
Watching the action closely here. The opportunity's there.
So Giovinazzi took the opportunity to get around. So Giovinazzi once again got the opportunity to take 16th away from Gasly. Did that. He took the opportunity and took it. Yeah, again, Giovinazzi had the opportunity to take it, and he did take it. He's now 16th, and Schumacher now up to 17th here in the Grand Prix. And Giovinazzi will be at his pit window the next lap. So we'll see how things go. Schumacher has DRS on the Italian, and he does pass Antonio Giovinazzi for 16th. I believe Schumacher now has the race pace. His tires are kicking in and can serve. And Logan Sargent spins. Oh, that's not good. Not good for Logan Sargent.
Glued to the monitors and watching their hopes crumble away.
And Williams had an incident not so long ago that costed Logan Sargent 5 seconds on pit road. And it served. But it's now biting him right now. And everything's just not working out for the young American driver of Logan Sargent. He is behind Zhou Guanyu, so if anything, he can try and overtake the young Chinese driver. And now taking a look, Ocon has worn tires. Schumacher on the outside. He's going to make the move done on Esteban Ocon. That is now 14th here in Bahrain. And that is going to be a position, once again, up one more for Schumacher, for the young German. And Gasly locks it up at turn 4.
The fourth corner. And the car just locks. And hopefully there's not too much damage to the tyres.
And that's unfortunate for the Alpine of Pierre Gasly. And once again, Giovinazzi is pushing his tires. He is in the pit window. It looks like Ocon is now on pit road for a new set of tires. It looks like the mediums are ready for the Alpine. And there we go, Ocon out on track now, back on, pretty much heading back to the track now on a new set of mediums. Schumacher has yet to go on to the medium tire. And Ocon will be behind Joe Guan Yu, almost into him, going into turn 1. Almost crashed, but everything's good for the young Frenchman. And once again, Giovinazzi on pit road for his last pit stop. He will go to soft tires, and I believe it's a conservative stint on those tires. A 2.783, so it's an improvement on his pit stop. An improvement time for pit road, and he will exit behind Sargent. It's on a lighter stint. It's on a light stint, so he'll be fine for most of this run. So he will be taking advantage, like Schumacher did. So 22 laps, pretty much about 22 to go. Obviously, Schumacher now up to 13th. He did, I believe, go around Albon, but then again, you do have people coming in on new tires. And Schumacher has yet to go on the mediums and has yet to pit for the second time in this session. And a caution comes out, and Sargent spun.
The 11th corner. And the controls
He's just
lost.
having a bad day.
Words had after this, I'm sure.
Sargent just not having the day. I think he would like to forget about this race. And Schumacher now on a push stint. Sainz fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And obviously, Schumacher getting ready for new tires. Hamilton, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Here comes Giovinazzi. Gasly now to come to the pits once again for another stop. It's going to be for soft tires. Not bad for the Frenchman. Leclerc goes to pits as well. And looks like Gasly got ahead of the Spanish driver of Carlos Sainz. And he's going to be holding up the Dutchman of Max Verstappen. And he will let him through. And it looks like we're almost lapped in Giovinazzi's side of things here. Neutral now for Giovinazzi's ERS. 15 to go here in the Bahrain Grand Prix. So it looks like Mick Schumacher will probably go 16th, if anything, for position. And last lap was his optimal lap to pit. And I didn't check. That's an error on my end here for pits. Schumacher 2.7 is going to get him out in 16th. Yeah, messed him up in the pits. Didn't bring him in when he should have came in. But he'll be fighting for 14th. And Schumacher ahead of his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi. Leclerc fastest in the Grand Prix so far. 10 laps to go in the race. And here comes Schumacher, trying to attack the Frenchman of Esteban Ocon for 14th. He's going to make the move happen. Not quite. He can't do it. He'll have to wait another corner. Probably another DRS zone. And here it comes. Schumacher DRS. Can't make it happen again. Stroll in pit road once again. He's going to go on softs. And Schumacher needs to make this overtake happen. Otherwise, he will not get 14th. Now the race leaders are coming, and Schumacher now got the move done for 14th. The question is it too late? And Schumacher, it looks like, will finish the race after completing the 56th lap. Wow, Giovinazzi making the move on Lando Norris. And it looks like Ocon is fading away from Schumacher's rearview mirror. And now, we're obviously watching the German in 14th. Unfortunately, will not be able to get to the German driver of Nico Hülkenberg. And it looks like Giovinazzi got passed by, I believe that was Albin in the Williams. And our drivers can now make it on fuel. And we're going to push both drivers on their tires. Try and see if we can get some positions here. And Schumacher has been yet to be overtaken by Verstappen, and now it's happened. And now the last lap for the Grand Prix, and it's Verstappen leading the Grand Prix. We're going to push ERS for both of the drivers to see if we can get some overtakes at the last second. And it doesn't look like Schumacher will have the opportunity to make a move on Hulkenberg. But here comes the Dutchman of Max Verstappen, who has led a good portion of the Grand Prix here at Bahrain to open the season. And now here comes the Dutchman, Max Verstappen. He will now come home here at Bahrain to win the Bahrain Grand Prix. The first race of the season, Leclerc in second, Carlos Sainz in third, and then Lando Norris will finish outside the podium in fourth.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner. And there it is, the Dutchman, Max Verstappen, has taken first.
A result like that absolutely speaks to all the hard work they've put into their career. Just phenomenal.
And here comes Perez to come home in 5th place after a tough day for Red Bull as far as their second driver, but he'll come home. But Perez comes home 5th. And Piastri 6th place on the grid. And here comes Alonso to take P7 on the day. Good points for Aston Martin. Then we have George Russell to come home P8 on the day. And Hamilton on the final corner. He's going to finish 9th. And then Lance Stroll will be in the points. And he will take the last point position, which is P10. Then you have Tsunoda right behind him in P11. And Ricciardo, the Australian, 12th. And Hulkenberg, the German, will finish 13th. Or 13th, excuse me, for Hulkenberg. 14th for Schumacher. Albon comes home 15th. Giovinazzi comes short of 15th. He'll come home 16th. The Fred in 21st. Then you have Sargent, who will come home last place on the grid today here at Bahrain, with Max Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz taking the podium here at Bahrain.
Lando Norris, currently on our screens, heads back to his team.
Yeah, just shy of a podium, but 4th is still a respectable finish.
And no doubt, Verstappen fans will be celebrating the Dutchman's achievement.
And that's win number 1 of the season, and it's sure to provide them with a real confidence boost.
And with that, the drivers finally get the chance to cool off and enjoy themselves. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
It was a strangely mixed weekend for them. We saw one driver put in a strong performance, but it was a different story for the other. Definitely positives there, though.
And that is about that for this weekend's action here in Bahrain.
The teams now look ahead to the next round, where they'll duel it out in the sand dunes of Saudi Arabia.
And there we are here at Bahrain for the first race of the season. Max Verstappen claims the race win. Leclerc brings home the fastest lap in P2, with Carlos Sainz grabbing the last spot on the podium. Lando Norris comes home just shy of the podium in 4th. Stroll again claims the last point spot. Schumacher up 8 positions After lights out, and Sam Giovinazzi only up by 5 points after starting 21st. He'll finish 16th on the day. It's a very good race for both of our drivers. Obviously, Max Verstappen leads the Drivers' Championship, and Red Bull, it looks like that will lead the Constructors. Yeah, by 1 point over Ferrari. So Perez at least didn't fall back too far behind. We are 8th place, though, in the Constructors. Very good for this team, considering we didn't have the best car at all heading into this race. So we just need to beat 2 teams at the end of the year. Right now, we're only beating 3, so that's pretty good. Obviously, no points for the DHL Fastest Pit Stop Challenge. Red Bull's Max Verstappen will get Red Bull ahead in that challenge. We are 10th in the championship at the moment. Our fastest stop from the Grand Prix was at 2.703 seconds on pit road, so that's pretty good. And that was Schumacher that was able to bring that performance for the pit crew. And obviously, we get $700,000 from our race targets. And with that, guys, that is going to end it here at Bahrain for the first race of the season. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy this episode, I really would appreciate it if you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like the content you're watching. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video from me, as I do upload every day. I have Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram that you can go follow down below in the YouTube description. I also have the playlist for the My Team Career Mode, the Road to Glory Career Mode that I'm doing, the RSF1 League that is coming up this upcoming Wednesday. And also I will have a post for the My Team Career Mode. No, not the My Team Career Mode, not yet though. But I do have a post though for the Road to Glory Career Mode to see which team you're interested in seeing me do, which is either going to be Alpine, Williams, or Haas. So I really would appreciate if you go down there into the link that is provided down below, so that way you can vote. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys in the next episode where we do the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys when I see you guys. Peace out, everybody. Ciao.